Hello everybody, my name is Just Scrub, but you guys can call me Scrubby, and today we're playing some more Kerbal Space Program. I accidentally clicked on the wrong thing. My bad. Hopefully that doesn't crash the recording. No, everything looks fine. Okay, good. I accidentally clicked on add-ons and mods. I don't know why, but that was stupid of me. Okay, let's see. Now we are in what? We did the intermediate construction, so now we're in advanced construction. Okay, this tutorial presented by famous rocket scientist Werner von Kerman himself covers how to design a craft that can orbit Kerbal and return safely. Ooh, this is going to be exciting. Actually, orbiting around the planet. Okay, welcome to the third and final tutorial about the construction, the advanced construction tutorial. I've had to delay some important work today to fit this in, so pay close attention as I shall show you how real rocket scientists make orbital craft. Go inside the fab. Okay, let's get this started. Okay, in our last tutorial we built a vessel that could escape the atmosphere, but it didn't have enough oomph to escape for long. This time around we'll cover more advanced rocket design concepts like multiple stages and boosters, as well as the extra parts like RCS and solar panels. You want these if you spend more than a few minutes in orbit. Yeah, I realized last time when I launched, like, there was an SAS button, but there was also an RCS button, and I didn't know what that one did, so I'm sure this tutorial will explain exactly what it is and how it works. Okay. When we're done, you'll have a craft capable of ascent to orbit, orbital operations, and a safe return to Kerbal. And you can test it out in the Go for Orbit tutorial, which will teach you how to make use of it all. Okay, next. You'll notice that there are a lot more parts available this time. That's because an orbit-capable craft is much more complex than that little poodle jumper I showed you how to make last time. However, the main principles are the same, so I hope you remember what I've taught you. If you mess up and say somehow manage to delete your whole craft, you can hit Ctrl Z to undo your last change. That's good to know. Okay. Again, you only have one pod available. Go ahead and select it. If you select the wrong part, click on it in the main view to pick it up and either drop it back over the parts toolbox or press delete. Okay. Pods. MK1 command pod. Click. Again, you only have... Okay, next. Aha! Just like last time, select a parachute and place it. Okay. Fuel engines, coupler, utility, science. Was that in... Wasn't in aerodynamics? No. Was it? No. Was it in utility? Yeah, there we go. Bam. No, okay. Adjust parameters. And again, like last time, adjust the parachute parameters by clicking on the part you just placed. When the chute's minimum pressure is 0.05 and you're satisfied, click next. 1,000 altitude, minimum pressure is 0.75. Okay, next. The upper stage. We're now going to construct an upper stage. This upper stage will finish placing the pod in orbit, and once you provide the RCS steering thrusters and electricity for the pod, it will also provide all the maneuvering capability in orbit, including the re-entry burn. Fancy. Okay. It's going to consist of a decoupler. We do not want to carry it home, an RCS fuel tank, a liquid fuel tank, 4 RCS thrusters, 4 solar panels, 4 batteries, and an efficient upper stage engine. That's quite a shopping list, isn't it? So let me know when you're ready to proceed. Okay. Add a stack decoupler. Firstly, we'll add a stack decoupler below the pod to let us discard the parts we don't want to bring back with us. So grab a decoupler from the toolbox and attach it to the bottom of the pod, keeping close attention so that its little red arrows, as we discussed before, point up, to make sure the decoupler is oriented in the right way. If the arrows are pointing down, that's not good. Detach it from the pod, then use WASD to rotate it to be the right way up, and then reattach it. Okay, so that was in its own little thing, right? Decoupler? No, it's payloads. There it is, coupler. Oh, radial decouplers. So that must be like, we're gonna have side engines on it. Okay. Arrows are pointing up. Okay, add an RCS tank. Next we'll add an RCS tank. RCS stands for Reaction Control Systems. Okay. And this fuel will help us with fine maneuvers. Go to the tanks category and add an FL-R25RCS fuel tank under the decoupler. Okay. Not payload, what am I doing? And tanks. Fuel tanks, there we go. RCL dash this one. Okay, next. Okay, tweak RCS loading. Your craft is not going to need all the monopropellant in the tank, so to save some weight, right click to get the parts options and move the slider down to 100 units. Monopropellant is called that because while large rocket engines use two propellants, fuel and oxidizers, RCS uses a single propellant. RCS is generally less efficient, but is good for small velocity changes in any direction, rather than just forwards like the main engines do, and can be used to rotate the craft as well as move it. Okay, so right click, down to 100, next. Okay, aha. Add propellant tanks. Okay, we'll be adding multiple liquid fuel tanks in this stage to get the right amount for the upper stage, and then we need an extra tank to offset the weight of the RCS. So add a tiny rocket propellant to the tank. It's the one named FL-T100 fuel tank, and then add a medium one, FL400, below that one. Okay. T100, T400, gotcha. It doesn't say to put a decoupler. Apparently not. I don't have to adjust. Okay. Add a Terrier engine. Lastly, for the main parts of this upper stage, we'll add an engine. The Terrier engine provides almost no thrust at sea level, air pressure, but it's highly efficient in space, and above 20 kilometers, where the atmosphere is thin enough to not interfere with the exhaust. This makes it a good choice for upper stage, since the engine will not be activated until the rocket has reached the conditions where this kind of engine works well. If you select the wrong engine, you can always throw it away and try again. Add the LV-909 Terrier to the bottom of the tank. Okay. 909 Terrier, here we go. That's a little tiny thing. Nicely done. Okay. Show center of mass. Nicely done. That's pretty well assembled upper stage, if I do say so myself. It'll get you to orbit. Yeah, it'll get you to orbit if you put enough rockets under it. While we have the reasonably simple vessel here, let's explore one of the other useful tools we have available. To make sure that your ship flies controllably, some parts need to be placed carefully around a point inside the ship called the center of mass. The COM is a spot where the mass on one side is balanced by the mass on the other side. Thrust applied through the COM will cause the ship to move without unwanted rotation, while thrust properly applied around the center of mass will cause the ship to rotate without moving. This makes the COM such a useful and important thing that we added a tool so the assembly building can show it to you with a marker. Let's have a look at it, how the indicator works here. Click on the center of mass indicator toggle and we'll have a play. Here's a picture of it with the indicator highlighted. So right here, center of mass. Interesting. Okay, so it's almost dead in the center of the ship. Watch the COM. Okay, let's adjust the fuel levels in some of the tanks and see how that affects the center of mass. Right click on each of the fuel tanks and drag the fuel and oxidizer propellant levels down to 0. Do not touch the monopropellant levels as they won't be burnt by the Terrier engine. Okay. Okay, as you're doing this, you see the COM move. During flight, the vessel's COM will move in the same way as it burns fuel until its tanks are empty. Interesting. So, oxidizer. Okay, it slowly moves up. Gotcha. Oh, that one it moves down. Okay, I see. Because that's interesting. Oop. Oh, no, I'm messing everything up. that back. Thank you. What about this one? Gonna click on next. You'll have to just adjust each one of them a little bit, and then he'll allow me to move on to the next point. Interesting. He said move them all the way down to 0, didn't he? Next. Okay. Refill the tank. Okay, now go ahead and refill the tanks. We can proceed to add some of the accessories to our upper stages. They'll transform it from merely something that gets us up into orbit to something to help us once we're there. Okay, so add fuel back to both of these. All the way. Down here. Ooh, that's interesting. I wonder what that does. Okay, next. Where to place RCS thrusters. Now that you know where the COM is when the stage is full, and when it's empty, you have the information you need to place the RCS thrusters. The RCS thrusters are found in the command and control category. Moving the spaceship without rotating it is called translation. This is a useful kind of maneuver for several reasons, including docking to another craft in order for translation. In order for translation with RCS to avoid unwanted rotation, you need to balance the thrusters around the COM. So the next sum of the forces is balanced right on this new natural pivot point for 2 equal sets of thrusters. Each set should be equidistant from the COM, and for a single set, what we're doing here, they should be right around the COM itself. Okay. What makes this complicated is that the COM changes during flight, as you just saw, so you need to place the thrusters at a compromise point between the wet COM and the dry COM. Note that in career mode games, RCS thrusters don't become available until fairly late. In the meantime, the reaction wheel capability built into your command pod will probably be enough for your turning in space. Without reaction wheels, will not allow you to translate. Okay, next. Placing the RCS thrusters. Okay. Let's turn on the angle snap. Okay. Let's turn on the angle snap to make aligning the thruster parts easier. Do that by clicking on the toggle snap icon in the lower left or pushing the C button. Ensure that we have 4x symmetry turned on and that you place a set of the 4RV-105 RCS thruster blocks on your upper stage. The tiny rocket propellant tank is just about the right place to attach these. Just in case you need a hint, the tiny rocket propellant tank. Okay, interesting. If you do not get the placement quite right, you can also use the offset gizmo to fine-tune their position. Make sure you turn angle snap off before using the offset. You want the fine adjustment for that, and with snap turned on, the adjustments are anything but fine. Click the offset mode icon in the upper left of the main editor window just to the right of the part list, then click the RCS part, drag one of the axis indicators to move it. If you want to reset this adjustment, hit space. When done, go back to the place mode. When you're all done, turn the COM indicator off. Okay, so now we need to turn this on to 4. Where's just thruster block? Where did it say those were? Structural. Okay, apparently it said it was in command and control, didn't it? I think somewhere in there I read about it in command and control. Whoops. Okay, so it needs to be right here. Is that good? Turn off this. Is that good? It's letting me click next, so I'm assuming it is. Electric charge. Lots of things on a craft use electric charge, EC. That's what us cool scientists call rocket electricity. In order to keep your batteries topped up, you will need a way of generating power. Now, some engines generate electricity while they're running, but you do not want to keep your engines in orbit. Your orbit would get all kinds of messed up and you'll run out of propellant. Our command pod has some batteries built into it, but to be safe you can add more batteries and you can add solar panels or other electricity generating items. We're going to do both. Okay, switch to the electrical category now and ensure that you have angle snap turned on and are still in the 4x symmetry mode. We use our put rotation skills to adjust the panels before placing them. That's the W, A, S, D, Q, and E keys. We use the arrow. Grab the OX-stat solar panels, hold it over the lower end of the fuel tanks, and press A to rotate it 90 degrees, then click to place a set of them. Now go ahead and place a set of, okay, Z100 batteries between the solar panels. Okay, so electrical, and we need the OX-stat panels. And where are these going exactly? Lower end of the fuel tanks. So down here. And push A. Like that. See 100 batteries between the solar panels. Apparently that's good. Upper stage complete. Excellent work. You've built a nice starter upper stage, which will do well for some orbital exploration. Now, we need to work on getting it up into orbit. For that, we'll build up our lower stage. In comparison to the upper stage, it's quite simple. Just a couple of tanks and an engine. That won't be enough alone, however, so we'll add some boosters too. Okay, stage decoupler. Add another stack decoupler on the bottom of the Terrier. We'll need this during our ascent to discard the empty parts of the vessel below. Oh, and notice how when you add the decoupler, a fairing is placed around the engine. This will get the jettisons automatically when stage decoupler. Okay, when we stage decoupler. Okay. So blah 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 blah. Decoupler, stack decoupler. Oops. Oh, okay, I see it. Encases it. Nice. Add tanks. Okay. Now, we need to add the fuel tanks to our lower stage. Add 2 of the medium rocket propellant FLT400 tanks to the bottom of the stack. Propellant. FTL 400 fuel tank. Oop. Control. Oh, crap, I just hit the home key. Hopefully that didn't crash the recording. Everything going good still? It says it's still recording. I'm gonna push that fancy button that allows that to not happen again. And then wasn't it Alt? There we go. Ah, look at me. Remembering stuff from what it taught me last time. Awesome. Okay. Add a swivel engine. For a lower stage, we need an engine that is There's a sustainer that's an engine that burns from liftoff until well after the boosters separate. Okay, let's get scientifical for a second. Rocket engine performance is measured by specific impulse, or ISP. And the ISP of an engine changes as the amount of atmospheric pressure around it changes. Just as the upper stages needed an engine that is good at the low air pressures and of high altitudes, the lower stage will need boosters, which are powerful at the high air pressures of the low altitude of the launch pad, and will help to carry the rocket through the transition from launch to the upper stages. It will need a sustainer engine, which normally sits between boosters and upper stage engines from a performance perspective, having a wide range in between the two. So add the big engine you see there, the LV-T45 swivel, to the bottom of the tanks. Okay, engines, LTV-45 swivel. Tweak the swivel. At its default thrust level, the swivel is too powerful for the rocket we're creating, and for the ascent profile we're going to teach you in the Go for Orbital tutorial. Okay, so you'll need to lower its thrust level. This isn't a good solution, as picking a smaller, lighter engine with the thrust level we want, but, well, there are only so many options. Okay, right click on the swivel and lower its thrust limiter to 65, and it will then only produce 65 of its full thrust potential, but will also run longer because it's only burning 65% as much fuel. Okay, so thrust limiter 65. Wow, that is really finicky. Come on. Can I use... It's like half, and it's just like the tiniest little movement of the mouse in it. Come on. There we go. Ta-da! Okay. Add radial decouplers. Nice. Now you have 3 core of your rockets completed, but as I said before, we'll also be adding boosters to help the sustainer engine and get rocket up and running. We'll add 2 boosters symmetrically so that we keep our craft balanced, and to make sure we don't lug the useless dry mass of the boosters around after they burn out, we'll attach them using decouplers. This time, however, we'll use radial decouplers so the boosters can sit beside our lower stage core instead of under it. That way, the sustainer and booster can fire at the same time. Select the TT-38K radial decoupler and add it to the 2 symmetry at the bottom of the tanks. Okay, let's see. That's in coupling. There it is. To the bottom of the tank. Bottom of the lowest tank on the lower stage. So right here. Next. Add SRBs. More boosters is something you often hear around KSC, and now it's time to add some. Add a pair of RT Hammer SRBs to the couplers so we had that extra kick early on. Engines? Hammer, there we go. Oh, goodness sakes. Boink? Is that good? Do these need to be lower actually? Is it shift? Yes. Right click. There we go. Well, I kind of still need it at the side so I can... Oh, now it doesn't want to connect. That's great. Come on. There it goes. I don't know how low it needs to be, but it says that's good. I just don't know if it's like supposed to like all be flat on the bottom, but apparently not. Tweak SRB thrusters. Okay, tweak SRB thrust, I mean. Unlike liquid fuel engines, where you can adjust the throttle during flight, once you have lit an SRB, it burns the constant thrust till it's out of fuel. We can, however, use the throttle limiter as we did on the swivel to get that constant thrust before we roll out of the launch pad. Right click on the SRBs and change the thrust limiter to 50. Do note that changing a tweakable value on that part that's been applied using symmetry will have the same changes applied to its symmetry counterparts. That's awesome. Okay. Remember when I said I'd teach you how to make that pod and thumper craft from construction basic survival? Well, this thrust adjusting is how that could be done, although you'd also have to put a decoupler on it. Okay. Thrust limiter down to exactly 50. Bam. Much easier that time. Add a nose cone. Right now, the SRBs have flat pancake tops, which is simply not a good look. Oh, and bad aerodynamically. Let's fix that by adding a pair of nose cones. Nose cones can be found in aerodynamics. Make sure you add a pair using the 2x symmetry. Okay. Aerodynamics. Ooh, do we get to add little wings to them too? There we go. No comment. Add fins. Okay. While we're on that tab in the toolbox, let's add some fins too. Fins come in various sizes and styles, as we learned earlier, will help you stabilize your craft. Since these fins are control surfaces, they also add some extra control authority. When low in the atmosphere, when the air is thicker enough for them to have a helpful effect. Add the blah 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 wing and 4x symmetry. Near the bottom of the lowest tank in the lowest stage, and make sure they do not intersect the decouplers. If they do overlap those parts, any flight will be interesting, but exponentially short. Okay. So like right here, maybe? That's definitely not right. Right there? And 4x symmetry. I thought I put it on 4. My mistake. Come on. Oh wow, it's not letting us do 4. Is this what it means to do? Oh no, I just messed that all up. Now it won't connect. Oh, there it goes. Ta-da. No. Come on. It says in 4 times symmetry. So I just have to wait until it, like, will patiently align? And low stage. Oh, gotcha. I thought it meant on the tanks themselves. Oh, that's not gonna work. How are you gonna fit 4 in there? That's not what I want. Come here, Finn. It won't let me click on it. Come here. Yeah, it doesn't wanna. Just does not wanna. Can I trick it and be like, huh? Now there's 4. No, there's not. Oh yeah, there is, but is it? Okay, is it interfering with the? That's not what I wanted to do. Game. Oh god, I'm messing everything up. Oh my gosh. Just go right there. That's not what it needs. Near the bottom of the lowest tank in the lowest stage. Okay, so let's just go ahead and get rid of these and try this again. 4. Maybe I should untoggle snap. Ta-da. Nope. That's not gonna work. Okay, I don't understand why this isn't working anymore, but I'm gonna have to restart. Yay, I will be back. Okay, bam, placed it first time and it worked. I don't know what, like, I don't know what causes this to happen, but I think it may have, I don't know, it's just sometimes it just doesn't want to snap into place, but now it seems to be okay. Okay, fixed staging. Excellent, we've got all the components on our basic orbital rocket, but now let's run through a few extra things before we call it a day. Okay, firstly, we should review the staging stack to check the order of the actions and parts displayed there. It's luckily I have highlighted this for you because the SRBs are set to fire before the sustainer, and that just won't do. You won't have enough thrust to get off the pad that way. Move the swivel staging icon down into the same stages as the SRBs. Note that automatically created staging sequence would work if we did not want the long burning sustainers to ignite at the same time as the high thrust booster, but since we do, we had to adjust it manually. Okay, so we need to, where's the swivel? This needs to go down with here. Is that not right? Gotcha, these need to fire the same time as this. Okay, so these good? Align for launch. Okay, finally pick up the pod and rotate it 90 degrees around the vertical axis. Press QE. This will rotate the ship not just in the VAB but also set its orientation when we go to the launch pad so that our desired flight heading of east compass 90 degrees will be a matter of steering the pitch up and down axis rather than the yaw left, right, and left. By default, parts in the VAB are oriented so that they are aligned at north. Okay, so pick up the pod. Oh, there we go. That's how we want it, right? Q, Q, Q. Ta-da! Action groups, okay. We've always make every effort to ensure our brave crew survive, and hopefully you will take the same stance in your space program. It doesn't always work out that way, of course, but it's the thought that counts, at least to those of us not in the rocket at the time. With that in mind, let's set up an abort action group for your craft for use in case of emergency. Note that in career mode, you'll have to upgrade the VAB or SPH in order to access action groups. Click on the turquoise action groups on the bottom left of the toolbar as part of the cluster of 3 buttons. Stir mass. Where? In the bottom cluster of 3. Oh, I'm sorry, down here. Blue one? That's not it. News report, no. Actions. Next, okay. Action groups lets you assign the functions of one or more parts in a single specific key. There are some default action groups. Landing gear automatically go in the landing gear group, brakes on the wheels go in the brake group, etc. And some custom ones activated by the keyboard, not the keypad. Numbers. Because of the order of these keys on a standard board, the action groups are numbered 1 through 9 and then 0. Gotcha, okay. To set up an action group, click on the desired action key from the menu, then click on the part you want to activate. The actions already assigned to that group appear in the group actions column, and the actions that can be assigned for the selected part appear in the selected column. To add and remove items, you simply click on them to move them left or right between columns. To clear all action group selections from a part, click reset in the selection column. We're going to set up the abort action group. It's triggered by pressing the backspace or clicking the big red abort button in flight. It slides out from the left side of the altitude panel at the top of the screen. When you mouse over that area, first click on the abort button in the action groups columns. Abort. Next. Great, now click on the decoupler light below the pod and it decouples and its decouple action group. Then click on each liquid engine and turn and assign it their shutdown functions to the group. Finally, click on one of the radial decouplers and assign decoupler to the group. Since these were placed with symmetry, adding the actions one radial decoupler will apply to all. Now, when you trigger the abort action in flight, the engines will shut down, or if they can't shut down, be decoupled. The capsule will separate from the rest of the ship and it should be safe to land by itself. Remember to deploy your parachutes once it's safe. However, this may require staging a number of times since your stage counter won't advance by itself when parts decouple before they are staged. Okay. So, abort. Great, now click on the decoupler right below the pod and add its decouple action. Why is everything still blue? I just want this clicked. I don't want this clicked on. I don't want it clicked. Why are you still saying it's selected? Okay, so click on decoupler and click on each liquid engine. That's solid, so I don't need that. That's liquid. Shut down. Shut down. Okay, apparently I had too much staged. I don't. Okay. Summary, and then we are. Your orbital rocket is ready to fly. It's been a long lesson, and thanks for hanging in there, in which we've covered lots of different advanced techniques for rocket construction. Give the new ship a name and save it. That's always good practice, and I recommend you try flying it in the Go for Orbit tutorial. Okay. I'm gonna call this the Big Pain, because it was a pain in my rear end trying to rebuild this thing, and for whatever reason, I guess it was my fault that I was trying to make sure that everything was staged, and I guess you don't want these to turn off for whatever reason, but what do I know? Okay, done. Save, and wow, that took a lot longer than I was expecting it to, and unfortunately I don't have time to do the training mission to do the orbit part, because I'm sure that's gonna take a long time, where it's explaining what the apoapis is and what the apostasis, I think's the other one called, and how to like properly rotate it and all that jazz. So unfortunately we'll just have to do that in the next episode. I'm really excited because like it's just getting more and more complicated, and eventually it's gonna show us how to get to the moon. So I know that's broken up into two parts because of how long it is. So that's gonna be interesting. And then after that, I guess we can. What I'd like to do is I'd like to try building some of our own rockets. And actually, I don't even know if some of these science basics. To the moon, from the moon, docking. Interesting. I was expecting this to show you how to build planes, but if not, I guess we can always just build our own. So anyway, that's enough of me rambling. I just want to thank you guys for taking the time out of your day to watch this video, and hopefully come back for more. Goodbye.